Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matthew Seabolt, and today I want you to think back about 30 years ago. I know for some of us that's before our time, but for many of us it's not. So think back just with me real quick. This is before the internet was even in our lives. I mean, you couldn't text your friends whenever you wanted, first, that's for sure. Number two, you couldn't use Google and just find answers immediately. You had to look them up in the encyclopedia. That's crazy to me, looking something up with a book. I mean, many of us just don't know how to do that. So the internet has brought many advantages to our lives, especially in the workplace. I mean, they're just numerous to even think about how many ways it has improved. In my experience in my workplace, I work in in the construction business with my dad, and we do different things on Fort Sill with different contracts and stuff. We have to use the internet to come up with bids and proposals and submit them to different companies, but we do that through the internet instead of handwriting them like we used to years back. That's just one of the ways we use the internet in my workplace. Now, there are many, through my research that I've done, there has been many improvements that the internet has brought to the workplace. Number one is the accessibility of the information from the cloud. Two is eliminating distant traveling meetings. Three, the online accounting programs that we have, we're able to use those. And number four is the ability to sell goods and services whenever we feel like it and when the consumer is ready to purchase them. So I'm just going to go off real quick and start. The first point that I have, obviously I just told you, is the accessibility of information from the cloud. Now, you might be like, the cloud, what's that? Well, the cloud is, obviously it's the accumulation of all of our files that we have saved in our computers, phones, tablets, all those different things, and they're brought together into the cloud, and we're able to pull from them whenever we feel like it. So the first reason that that's a improvement for the internet in our workplace is it's a cost savings. We are able to eliminate these storage bins, I guess you could call them, the filing cabinets and systems like that. We're able to eliminate them and get rid of them out of our workplace where they take up space, and it's just a cost savings with paper and all those different things. The second is we are able to grab that information whenever we feel like, whether we're at an important business meeting overseas and we don't have all of those files, we're able to pull them up on our laptop, cell phone, tablet, whatever we have with us, and show them to the either potential merger that we're about to do with our company for larger businesses, or just a bank overseas if we're a smaller business. The third thing I have is it's an advantage to us when we have the cloud, because if our computers crash out of nowhere, I mean that's happened many times to businesses and close them down for days and even weeks at a time, we're allowed to grab that information immediately from the cloud, and it's all secure and we have everything that we had before. The second thing I'm going to talk to you about is eliminating the distant distant meetings that we have to. Number one, it's an ability to save time and money without having to go overseas and do these different things. It's also a high product. It has been proven that business had a higher productivity and efficiency rating whenever they're able to stay back at home and do these businesses online via apps like Zoom and Skype and all these different things. The third thing I'm going to talk to you about is the online accounting programs. They are cost savings from payroll. They ease tax compliance with apps like QuickBooks and FreshBooks, I believe is the other one that it's called. But you also have the mobility to be able to grab all this information from the cloud that I just talked about, whenever and wherever you are, just to make sure you're in good hands with all of the tax regulations and everything that we have in place. The fourth and final thing that I'm going to talk to you about is the ability to sell these goods and services that you have and are selling. If you're a retail company such as Amazon and eBay, they do a really good job of online, because they are online companies, but they are one of the really first ones that I ever know and I always use to buy things whenever I'm ready. And that's one thing that consumers, about these companies, that consumers can buy these goods and services whenever they are ready to do so. The second thing about the ability to sell goods and services anytime are with online companies, they're able to maximize their full potential all the time. Doesn't matter what day of the week or what time it is, they're able to maximize their company all of the time. In 2014, a research study showed that people over the age of 15 bought 78% of them bought something online, and 22% of the U.S. population did not. So I'm just going to wrap it up and just leave you with a final thought. The final thought that I have is that the internet turns the average entrepreneur into a savvy business tycoon with just the click of a button. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? It really does. Now, to summarize what I told you today, the accessibility of information from the cloud really pulls everything together for us. You can eliminate distant meetings, online accounting programs, and the ability to sell goods and services. All are improvements to the workplace that we have via the internet. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and you guys have a great day. Thank you.